wanna keep it low now. If you wanna go, let's go. Let's wrap it up and hit the road. 'Cause I wanna drive through the summer night. And when
Hello everyone, it is a new day here. On today's video, we're actually going to be talking about homeschooling, and I'm going to be sharing some experience with you and just a few of my tips that I might have for those of you out there that have all of a sudden found themselves becoming a homeschool family. With the current situation, with everything's going on, I know that a lot of schools have been shut down, students are at home, and when we first decided to start homeschooling, which was about 5 years ago, I remember that just very first initial feeling that I got about the idea of having my children at home and helping them with their education, but also just wondering exactly how it's all going to work. And I know that it can be overwhelming at times. There's uncertainty, not always feeling confident whether I can truly do this or not. And so I am coming to you out there to help be your cheerleader and kind of help just cheer you on and say to all those parents that are out there right now that have kids at home all of a sudden, you can do this. And having to take education on at home doesn't have to be boring, and it shouldn't be overwhelming. So here's just a few of the things that I can recommend that we do, but I also have a few tips because this was thrown on you guys all of a sudden. So of course you don't have a classroom set up like we do here at home that we've pre-planned because this is what we do on a regular basis. So hopefully some of these tips that I'm going to give to you today will help you and be ones that you can use in your situation where you haven't had all this time to plan out of actually becoming a homeschooler. So here we go. The first tip that I can give you that kind of helped me out was kind of creating a schedule or having some kind of structure throughout the day. Your kids are used to, even when they're in school, away from home, have a schedule that they follow. So go ahead and create a structure for you and your family to work throughout the day. That's what we even do here. And I'll come over here to my daughter's desk and kind of show you how we've got it set up. That would be my first tip, is just get some kind of structure and schedule worked out for your child. So this is my daughter's work area in our classroom that we have here at home. And each of my kids have a schedule. I've printed it out for them because my kids are at the age where they can work independently. It kind of helps them stay on task, and then they don't have to sit there and keep working on something until it's done. And then that way you get through each of the subjects. Along with structuring out your child's day, I would also say maybe find a spot where you guys want to do school. So let the kids, if you want, let them pick where they think it would be fun to have their workstation set up or their area. We find it makes it easier for us to have a designated area where school's going on and we don't have the distraction of TV or electronics or anything like that in the same room. One thing I will tell you, and I learned this early on when we first started homeschooling, is that sitting at a desk all day and just doing subject after subject after subject does not work, and it's not the best way to learn either. One thing I really want to encourage you is if you find out something doesn't work or you just had a bad day that day, that does not mean that you have failed. All that means is trying to find something that works for you and your family. So don't get discouraged, and just always know tomorrow is a new day. And even if you just only got 2 subjects covered in your day, don't get discouraged. Just think about those 2 subjects that you were able to focus on that day and what your child has gained from that day. So keep a positive attitude, and even though there might be some rough days in here, all you can do is hit the reset button the next day and maybe try and think outside of the box. So if your student is getting tired of, I know a lot of schools have gone to their online learning or something like that, and they've just been in their desk on their online class all day or just working on worksheets, that can get really boring for the kid as well. So try and get them up and include their subject, whichever subject they're covering, in an activity. One way that we kind of help from having to be at the desk too long and to kind of shake it up a little bit is if they have something that they're trying to memorize or math facts that they're trying to work on, vocabulary words, anything like that. I find out that if you have dry erase markers and a window. My kids are 11 and 13, and if I can let them do something with dry erase markers on a window, it just makes it so much more fun. Make sure that the kids understand they can only draw on windows with only dry erase markers. I don't want them thinking all of a sudden, oh, I can take any marker and draw on the window. Lincoln is actually working on grammar right now, and Kenya is doing her science, and she's learning all anatomy and physiology, and what she has to do is draw and label all the different parts of the body system. So today she's working on what is it?
The heart by memory.
I put white pieces of paper behind here. I taped it on the other side so they can see what they're working on. Lincoln, I have written his sentence that he needs to diagram today. So first of all, by looking at this sentence, can you tell me what structure is this sentence?
Compound.
How can you tell it's compound?
Two independent clauses, each with the subject and verb joined by a coordinating conjunction.
Where's your coordinating conjunction in this?
Here.
Okay, and actually, I'm gonna stop really quick. What I just did there with Lincoln is having a conversation with him about what he's learning. The program that we actually do is called Classical Conversations. We love this program, but I will tell you, you don't always have to have a worksheet to do. You can have a conversation with your child about what they're learning. Ask them questions. It helps them learn a little bit more, and it's fun to see what they actually understand. That's a quick side note. Let's get back to drawing on windows. Now, he's gonna go ahead and diagram his sentence on the window. So Kenya's labeling the heart. Lincoln is working on his sentence. Guys, this can work. If they have spelling words, they could write their spelling words. If they have their times tables they need to go to, or practicing algebraic equations, you could use this for so many different things. Another thing that's fun is you could just go ahead and print a picture out on this blank white sheet of paper that I have and tape it to the other side and let them trace. So the kids did that. The other idea of trying to let them be able to get up and move when they're learning is, for instance, if my son was doing grammar and we were learning about nouns that day, I would give him some cards and have him go around and put a sticky note on all the nouns and tell me whether it's a proper noun, whether it's singular or plural, and the jobs that it does. So just being creative and doing things like that. For math, you can once again take your dry erase markers, get some Legos, write numbers on the Legos, and let your kids go ahead and build math equations and get the answer stuck on top of whatever the math equation is that you've drawn on the Legos. There are so many different fun things that you can do if you don't have those worksheets, or if your kids are tired of being at their desks and working on worksheets. And then the other thing that we have kind of implemented in our home, because it is a struggle these days, is we do limit electronics. But when things like this happen where their kids are going to be home constantly, parents are home with them, and there's just moments where you're just like, I need you to go do something but not have the kids on the electronics all the time, there's two things that you can do for this situation. One, we have a reward system at our house where they have to earn time on their electronics, and we actually have what's called time money. And I've printed it out, cut it out, and how they earn time money is after each subject that they complete, they actually get an emoji. So this is a whole system I've completed in our classroom. I have done a previous video on this before. I'll put that link down in the description below if you're interested in it. So we've covered kind of the learning education aspect of it, but it still doesn't stop the fact that your children are home with you all day, and you're not going to be doing school every day, all day, and you have those other times that you're trying to fill and you don't want them on electronics, and they're coming to you and I'm bored, I don't have anything to do. Some suggestions I can give you that we like doing: play a game. Go get one of the board games out for a while that you haven't. Another favorite of ours is I will just get a book and I will read out loud to the kids. Even though my kids are 11 and 13, they still love it when we read a book together as a family. Another thing is let them go outside. Tell them to take a walk if the weather's okay. But the last thing is we have a wall here in our classroom, and I can tell them, go pull down something off of the Boredom wall. And there's all sorts of stuff put up there, and they can pick one of those things, and it kind of gives them an idea of something that they could be doing rather than just playing on electronics. And lastly, what I wanted to share with you, I know it seems like right now our world is getting smaller and smaller and we're getting closed in, and it seems like that we're not able to experience as much, but that is where actually I feel like we are all so blessed to be in this day and age where we have the technology and the ability to see things online and virtually. With that, and with everything, all of the closings that have been happening and all of the trips and travels that everybody's been having to cancel, there's still a way to see our world. And I have found some really great links this last week. There is a link that I found of virtual tours of really famous museums, and you can take those tours of a museum. So sit down together as a family and tour the museum, and then maybe at dinner just have a conversation about what your favorite painting was, or have your kids write a small paragraph on what they thought they liked about that. So I encourage you to do that. There's also so many of the online learning academies are offering some free stuff. I even found a link that is offering free ballet classes online, virtual ballet classes. Scholastic is actually offering some free courses online for kids and for things for them to do. But also enjoy it together as a family. So maybe one morning you guys hop on to the free ballet lesson and I'll do ballet together. Down in the description below, I will include all these links to these things that I've found. And guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you know of any parents that are at home right now, overwhelmed with the fact that their kids' school has been canceled and they're been put in a new situation, or you guys are at home and you're just trying to find different things to do and not go stir crazy, please like this video, but also if you know of someone, please share it with them. We really appreciate you guys watching. I hope my tips have helped you. I hope you guys are healthy in your house, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.